What it do, comic babies? I'm Bunkmaster B, and it's been a minute since we've talked. How have you been? You look great. While I've been away, I've been reading some amazing comics, and some I don't think are probably on your pull list. And I'm here to change that. We're about to talk about my 5 favorite comics that you should be reading that you probably aren't. Starting us off today are going to be the pair of maybe the best known series on here. That is The One Hand and The Six Fingers. Now, these are 2 separate series, 2 completely different creative teams that are really part of the same whole story. So, starting off right here, The One Hand is a neo noir that's set in a very Blade Runner-esque city, very taken some strong inspirations there. And it follows a detective who, right on his retirement day, who made his career off locking up a very particular serial killer, gets the call. The serial killer, who's still locked up in jail, is out again. The exact same MO. There's no doubt it's the same guy. Pulled back in for one last case, he has to investigate forces beyond his control, beyond his idea, and beyond really any kind of reckoning. Really moody artwork, great neo-noir depiction. It's moving a little slowly for some of the newer issues, but still excellent. The sister series, on the other hand, The Six Fingers, tells the story from the point of view of the serial killer. Honestly, between the two, I think this one I probably like a little bit more. You might think that this one would be kind of the same genre, but honestly, this one falls a little bit more of sort of a dark, mystical mystery. The forces that are at work there leave no doubt into the identity of the actual person who is committing the murders, but there may be some questions as to what is going on, what's causing all of these things to happen, and I am loving the mystery unfolding, and I feel like we're getting a lot more of that movement in The Six Fingers than we are in The One Hand. Now, as it's currently solicited, this is a 10-issue series between 5 issues of each. I don't know if there's a hardcover that's made out. Each series has wrapped up most of the way, so there's only a little bit left. Excellent series so far. Can't recommend highly enough. Now, if the last entry on the list wasn't the most well-known, this one certainly is. This is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. This one is, I've heard it described as the busy world of Richard Scarry, those books you used to read as kids, meets Dexter. And I think there's a lot to that. We're basically taken to this beautifully painted, very cute world of anthropomorphic animals living in this small town. It's all very quaint until we find out that our main character is a serial killer and has been for basically the 30 years that she's lived in this town. She's got some very specific rules, and she's remained undetected this whole time. What she finds out is there is another serial killer in this little town who is maybe not following her rules. And the little town that she lives in is thrown into chaos, and her entire way of life is about to change. This one is gruesome. It's, I think, a little bit hard to take at times, but I would say the violence is more anatomical than anything else. I thought that people who have problems with violence against animals might have a problem with this, but I've heard from plenty of people that that's not the case. If you've been able to read things like Black Sad and have been doing okay with it, and you're really looking for a cool, beautifully painted serial killer story, Beneath the Trees is where you should be. Anyone who's been a big fan of Lazarus and is missing it in your life, may I suggest you check out The Ministry of Compliance. I don't just say that lightly. I think that's very intentional, to the point where the very first issue opens on a character named Carlisle who immediately gets beheaded. I'll let you be the judge of whether it is an accident. Basically, there is an invasion force that has assimilated onto Earth of, basically an alien UN, a coalition of planets, who looks to go to different planets, plant seeds of disinformation, distrust, really try and uproot the culture, leading to a mass revolt from within, and then within that stage, basically, they move in and take it over. Now, normally you might hear something like that and say, oh, cool, we're going to get a series about Earth fighting against it. Nope. This is a series about basically the bad guys, the people who are trying to take over Earth. But really what we get here is a really cool geopolitical comic that is equal parts espionage, quiet talking moments, and utterly insane action and violence. It is really, really well done. We've got different alliances, different factions. We've got double agents. We've got people who don't really know what they're doing, who to trust. It's great. Can't recommend this one highly enough. The first arc just finished up. I'm loving this one. Can't wait to see more. And lastly today, the newest series on here, in fact, there's only one issue on here, so I'm kind of planting my flag, is Uncanny Valley. Written by Tony Fleece, this is one of the two Tony Fleece series that's going on, and I feel like this is the one that's going to be overlooked. But between this and Feral, which is his other series that just came out, which is the spiritual successor to Stray Dogs, I feel like this is the stronger of the two. A lot of that is Dave Walker's artwork, which is fantastic and has to go double duty by doing two different styles. Basically what we have here is a coming-of-age story, sort of a story about a character who has a unknown past, an unknown family, and it turns out they are the heir to an untold power that is unknown to them. We've seen this sort of thing in Harry Potter, in Star Wars, and that kind of thing, where their lineage is that of a great hero. In here, turns out that lineage is of a cartoon character. It seems so much like it's a gimmick premise, but honestly, through this first issue, and that's all we have so far, but in this first issue, it is done so well that I can't help but think this is going to be an amazing series. In one issue, we get setup, we get characters, we get stakes, we get heart-wrench, we get amazing art, like I said before. And it really takes what could be a very silly premise and just makes it matter. I can't wait to see where this series goes. Fleece has said that it's going to depend on sales how many issues the series gets. It's going to get at least 6. He's hoping for 12 or up to 18. I'd love to see this collected in a beautiful hardcover. Let's give it some support. Let's get it to 18. And those right there have been my 5 favorite comics that I think are not getting nearly enough love. Now, I've got other things on my pull list right now that I'm absolutely adoring. Daniel Warren Johnson Transformers is pretty much top of the stack every week that it comes out. Art just transitioned to Jorge Corona. I was worried about how that would go, but honestly, Corona's been killing it. Corona really, really kind of gets the assignment, and Mike Allred on art is kind of steadying that ship. So a lot of great things going on right now. Not saying that these are necessarily the 5 best, although they might be. I just think that these are 5 books I really don't hear anybody talk about, except for Beneath the Trees, where everybody sees. That's one that, if you've read, you love it. But I want more people to know about these. So hey, go out, check these out, be happy. But now, I want to hear from you guys. First off, have you read any of the books that are on my list? And if so, what do you think? Because I love all of these books so much, and I really hope that you guys do too. But what are you guys reading that you are loving and just don't hear people talk about? Let me know down below. But in the meantime, I've been Bunkmaster B. You all have been amazing, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.